not to get into draft talk, but I think it's important that we have the conversation from now because, you know, people like Steven or Jesse or Anthony in the chat, what do we all agree on? Can we all agree the Detroit Lions have a great setup for a rookie quarterback? Yes or no? I think we all agree yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. What does that mean? Well, it means eventually you're going to want to get one, but that doesn't mean Jared Goff is playing bad or that he can't be your guy for the next 2 years. So you can have a lot of different things. I'm with you. I'm in the camp of the defense needs to be addressed. The defense needs to be better. Because if I gave this team from week 1 to week 18 a top 18 defense, this would be a 10-11 win team. No? Mm-hmm. With the offense they have?
Yes.
You can't argue that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at this morning. And now, go ahead.
I was going to say, the question I would ask, too, if you're for Will Levis with that first or second first-round pick, two things. One, do you believe he's the best player available when you get to those picks? I could argue, depending on who's there, no. Now, if you like the potential, that's fine. Now, for potential reasons, I would ask you this. Do you think Will Levis will be better than Jared Goff? Simple question. Because that's the reason why I'm taking a quarterback. Bryce Young, I do believe I like his ceiling a lot. I mean, you see him in college, even last year, or this year, kind of still going. But last college football's regular season, with all the receivers that left, he still played well, and they still won. So I like the potential with Bryce. With Will Levis, do you have confidence in taking him in the first round? Do you think he'll be better than Goff? I would ask you. And if you
I would say for the next 2 years, no, he won't be.
Eventually, I'm talking eventually. Will he have a career like Goff? And now, if you want to say, Jeff, well, he's on a rookie contract, that's fine. I will give you the rookie contract.
How do I answer that honestly? Huh?
Because why are you taking Will Levis?
You're going to ask me that question, but the truth is, you know what? I don't care what anybody says. You actually don't know. And sometimes you're a quarterback and you walk into the right situation and you have the right attitude and you have the right work ethic and you have the right mechanics, the arm strength, the charisma, and you still fail. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be better than Goff or that. Now, could he be? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, you're drafting him to be better. You're drafting Bryce Young. You're drafting Justin Herbert. You draft these guys in hopes that they become that. We did this conversation yesterday about Cade and Ivy. When you draft guys at the top of the board, you envision them being like a Luka Doncic. Now, Doncic is special. He's different. He might go down as a top 10 player. I know it's a bit extreme, but the point is, you just want a superstar at the end of the day. And when you draft a quarterback, that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, superstar quarterbacks aren't sitting there in the second or third round. Now, you have your anomalies. In the second round, it's Jalen Hurts right now. In the third round, we've seen what? Russell Wilson. Dak Prescott was a fourth-round pick or third?
One of the two.
One of the two. You've seen it. But that is a rarity. Quarterbacks typically are taken in the first round.
Right.
Okay? And for a lot of reasons, they succeed and they fail. And I'm not Nostradamus. But you typically have an idea of who can translate better. Mm-hmm. And I always bring this up, adversity. That's one of my key ingredients to any formula I will ever use to evaluate a quarterback. Can you handle and have you handled adversity? You knew Joe Burrow did. You knew Justin Herbert did. Even Tua at times went through adversity. Some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL have all gone through adversity. Nobody believed in Lamar. Kyler Murray was too short. Tom Brady, 6th-round draft pick. Aaron Rodgers fell later in the first round. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. But
right, Russell Wilson, 3rd-round pick. I'm giving you a common trait among the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
But I can name not every one of those quarterbacks, but most of them. You can give me tape, and I could be impressed. Give me one Will Levis moment this year where I should be blown away.
There wasn't much. There wasn't much, but
so you're drafting him based on hope. Like I think he can be better than Goff. He has the upside.
Do you remember?
But with certain quarterbacks you take, for me personally, I'm looking at, okay, what moments did this quarterback have? And if you want to bring up Josh Allen, I'm not going to argue with you because that's, again, I'm going to keep arguing this. He's an anomaly. To take a guy like that who went to Wyoming, wasn't anything special, but had the intangibles and panned out, I'm not taking that risk. I'm sorry. I'm not. I would rather, this team needs defense, go out and get defensive players.
I agree.
That's what you need to do.
I agree.
Now, if Brad Holmes takes a Will Levis, that would tell me that he has confidence in his upside to be better than Goff. You're not taking him if you don't think he'd be better than Goff.
Who's the North Carolina quarterback?
Drake May.
No, before.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell worked his way into a top 3, top 5 pick prior to his last year at UNC. And that last year, he lost 3 players to the NFL draft on offense. They were significantly worse, especially at wide receiver. And he struggled. And he fell his way out of the first round. Levis, for some reason, Jeff, I'm not saying it's right, but for some reason has struggled at Kentucky. Put up awful numbers. Put up donuts against some of the worst and better teams in the SEC. And you know what? Teams are still bought in. Why? He's checking boxes. Whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. It's not what I think about Will Levis. It's what I know will happen, which is he will be taken in the top 10. So if you're the Lions, you're not getting him at 18 or 17 or 15. He's going top 10, as he should, because if I'm a GM, there's one ticket that I can cash in that I know will set me up for 10 years, and that's me hitting on my quarterback. If I draft Ndamukong Suh, if I draft Calvin Johnson, it doesn't mean shit. If I draft Justin Herbert, if I draft Joe Burrow, I'm suddenly relevant for 10, 12, 15 years.
But and just to put some context with it, if you draft Zach Wilson, you get set back 3 years.
Yes, when you fail.
So, right.
Look, I mean,
that's the risk.
Let's all cut this shit. Like every single one of us or you at home have all known that every single one of these quarterbacks would be good or be bad. Cut the shit. If there was a science to it, everybody would have a franchise quarterback right now. That's the reality, and they don't. And the truth is, I would rather high risk, high reward on a quarterback if I'm a standard NFL team that is dying for a franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now, the Lions are in a different situation. They got Jared Goff. He's playing excellent. He's playing at a Pro Bowl level.
He's playing at a high level.
You don't have to worry about that right now. You can address the defense, and you can go win your division next year. You can maybe win a playoff game next year if you can address the defense and nail those picks. But when we talk about Will Levis and it's a joke, and no, it's not. Because it was a joke that Josh Allen went, 7th or 8th overall? And who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? I bet you any money, if I was doing a show back then, I would have laughed at the Josh Allen draft pick. Fully admit it. I probably would have laughed. Who's laughing now?
I get that, but
for every time you laugh, there's the Zach Wilsons. There's the
Baker Mayfields.
Marcus Mariota. The Baker Mayfields. That's real.
Josh Rosens. Yeah.
The Josh Rosens. That is real, man. So everyone can cut the shit without justifying it. You justify at any point. I don't care who you are. Jamarcus Russell over Calvin Johnson. How do you think the Raiders feel about that one? But you know what? At the time, he was the fucking top prospect coming out of college at quarterback. The Raiders needed a franchise quarterback. Sam Bradford and Ndamukong Suh, the same shit. Sam Bradford was perfect, remember? He had everything. Oklahoma, stud. Mm-hmm. He's got the pretty face. He's got everything. You think they would have preferred Ndamukong Suh? Probably. Come on. We all know drafting a quarterback is the hardest thing to do. And when you do it, you try to surround him as much as possible to succeed. That's it. That's all you can do.
And I'm not arguing he won't be one of the top quarterbacks taken. I'm arguing from the Lions' perspective if you should take a chance on him. No, you shouldn't. because they're not in a situation right now. They still have a roster to build. Now, if you want to talk to me about Will Levis going early in the draft, I'm not going to argue that. I think a team will take him based on what they think he can be.
I think if you're at 4.
Now, if I'm a general manager, I'm not taking him. I'm sorry. Especially if you're building a roster. If you're sitting there at 10 and you have an opportunity between a potential Miles Murphy or a Brian Bresee or Will Levis, I'm taking those 2 every day of the week.
Of course.
Because
but
I'm
what
going
if I
with
told you both of the 3 players?
Stop getting... Yeah.
Of the 3 players, Brian Bresee is an all-pro defensive tackle. Mm-hmm. Miles Murphy is an all-pro edge. And Will Levis is an all-pro quarterback. Which one do you want?
What about this? Who do you think would have the lowest floor of those 3?
I agree. And that's why I would agree with you in taking those players.
Because at worst, I'm getting I understand, starters on my defense.
We at least have to be fair
and
say, yes, you know what, maybe if you were the GM, you would pass on him. But who cashes out the highest ticket? It is the quarterback. And that's why I don't get mad at teams for taking a chance on their quarterback. Why'd Robert Saleh? You think Robert Saleh wouldn't love any of those other players except Zach Wilson? Oh, they regret it.
Yeah.
They regret it.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the same time, if they didn't take him and he did work out, who's the jackass now? Like, you just don't know.
Right. And
you got to take your chances
again,
on the quarterback.
hindsight
I think
2020.
That's really just my theory is if you're going to take a quarterback, take him. Don't wait. Don't wait for him to fall to you. Go get your guy. If you believe in him, go get him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I'm gonna back off the Will Levis jokes, because the truth is, I get it. I see it. I've seen it before. I've been right. I've been wrong. That's the NFL, man.
Yeah, and I will gladly admit I'm wrong if Will Levis comes into the NFL and is a fantastic
and maybe
quarterback.
He doesn't work out.
But it's just it's a feeling. I've watched a couple Kentucky games. I wasn't impressed. And now if you
the box scores are ugly too.
And it's not even all just because the box scores is one thing. People look at stats, but if you're actually watching, I'm not impressed. And again, Jeff. He lost his OC. He lost his receiver, his number 1 receiver. I get it. A lot of changes went through Kentucky. But even the following year, what do you have? 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Yep. He had double-digit interceptions again. And again, he can run. That's a big thing now with quarterbacks. He's mobile. I get all of that. You love the upside. Personally, this is just my opinion. If I'm sitting there at 7, 8, 9, I think there's just better players on the board.
I'm going to leave it there with you because I agree with you 100%.
Right.
If you're the Lions, again, from the Lions' perspective, you're taking a Miles Murphy, a Kelly Ringo. You're taking one of these guys, Brian Bresee, if he falls. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody to add to this defense, because we all know if you can upgrade 2 starters in this draft, and maybe even 3, because you have so many picks.
Now we're cooking.
Now you got a top 20, top 18 defense. Now you got a team that's going to contend for the North.
Right.
So we're on the same page. I just think when it comes to quarterback, it's always so complicated. And I'm not a fan of drafting a Hendon Hooker, an Anthony Richardson in the 2nd round, and, well, take a chance. Go give me a player, man. Stop the shit. If you're going to take a franchise quarterback, you fucking take him in the 1st round. And if you luck your way into a Russell Wilson or a Dak Prescott, but even Dak, I wouldn't want Dak as my quarterback over Jared Goff. I like Jared Goff more.
Yeah, I would agree.
Russell Wilson was special. That's different. Again, the anomalies happen. But, Jeff, if I'm drafting, am I banking on an anomaly? Or am I banking on making the right decisions? And that's where I agree with you. Mm-hmm. You take those defensive players.
And could I argue, too, slightly, because you talked about it, don't take players in the 2nd round that you want to take a chance on, like an Anthony Richardson, or which I think he'll be gone before then.
The only anomaly I want to say in the NFL right now of quarterbacks that have succeeded, I want to say in the 2nd round, of recent memory, is only Jalen Hurts. I don't think there's been another 2nd round quarterback maybe in the last 10, 15 years.
But could I argue that Anthony Richardson, you look at him and you see the upside?
I don't see the upside.
But I'm not saying that. I'm saying
okay,
if you're a GM, you're looking at him, you're seeing the intangibles. Isn't that similar to Will Levis? It's the same thing. I mean, you're looking at Will Levis. Well, he can run. He's got the arm. And then you're looking at Anthony Richardson. He can run. He has the arm. The height. He's 6'4". He's big. Like, it's. And you're talking about Anthony Richardson in the 2nd round, but you're talking about Will Levis in the top 10. Like, that's the. I don't get it, but who am I? I don't work in NFL.
Look, in recent memory, the only quarterback that shows up is Derek Carr, like really recent. If you want to go the last 15 years, Drew Brees was a 2nd round quarterback. Andy Dalton was a 2nd round quarterback. So there are a few, but again, we'll have draft talk all off season. So I already got a bit carried away, but that was a fun conversation.
Overall, we both agree, Lions,
Defense.
Take
Go
defensive
defense.
players. Man.
Don't think twice. Go defense. But if Brad Holmes pulls the trigger, anybody going to be upset? Because I'm not. If he drafts Will Levis, 7th overall, as much as, even if you hate it,
I trust Brad Holmes.
I trust Holmes, but I trust the surrounding for any quarterback, not just Levis, for them to walk in and succeed by year 2, year 3. And what if I always told you about Goff? If he can be Alex Smith and what he was for Kansas City, go win divisions, win a playoff game, contend year in and year out, and then hand the baton to your young quarterback, I would love that situation. I would love it. Now, finding your Patrick Mahomes is very difficult, don't get me wrong. That is special. That's a special talent. You're not going to find that.
Every team tries every year.
Exactly.
They try.
Exactly.
Doesn't always work out.